Opa! Welcome, everybody, to Stavvy's world. We should have gotten some plates. Welcome, everybody. 904-800-STAV. Call in. A beautiful new year, a beautiful 2024 to you. And we had to bring in the new year of Stavvy's world with the one and only Yannis Pappas. Thank you.
Thanks. You did an American pronunciation of the name.
Με το Γιάννη Πάπα. Έπρεπε να έχουμε την πρωτοχρονιά με το Γιάννη Πάπα. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to do a riff and then I'm going to do it over in Greek. the whole podcast is going to be half English, half Greek. Γεια σου ρε Γιάννη. Το πούστε το Γιάννη το ρεύε το φέραμε εδώ το μαλάκα από το αυτοκίνητο του. Έτσι από το Long Island το πούστης. Μπράβο ρε Γιάννη. Μας θυμήθηκε στην Αστόρια ρε Γιάννη.
Since we are in Astoria, I said, when you sell this place, you won't have to remove this. No. They'll buy it for this.
Yeah. I'll get to double my security deposit.
Yes.
Yeah, my landlord will come in here and start crying. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. No, unfortunately, we don't have a countryman. Against all odds, I believe. I'm still unsure of the ethnicity of my landlord. I think we've landed on Indian. I think we've landed on.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be hard to tell. Yeah.
Because especially in New York, it's like you get like a brown mishmash.
Yeah.
Where everybody's just, if they're like two or three generations, it's all just kind of like anywhere from like beige to like kind of dark tan. You know what I mean?
You're going to have to see his wife to determine his
That's
ethnicity.
true. That's true.
If she's wrapped up, Pakistani. If she's dotted up, Hindu.
We don't. He seems a little Americanized, whatever it is, so she might not even. You're right. We should figure this out, Elvis.
Or if she's wearing Air Max 95s, Dominican.
Yeah.
You got to see the wife.
I know.
And if you haven't seen the wife, probably Pakistani.
Okay. Oh, right. Yeah.
She's not allowed.
She has to handle all the business. I don't know. That's not my feeling, though. I feel like she's kind of it feels like she's pulling the strings.
Okay, then she's Greek.
Yeah.
Because we pretend to be a patriarchy, but it's really the mothers.
That is true.
Yeah.
It's a culture that like puts on big on putting on appearances.
Yes.
It's like the man is honestly the head of the Greek household. The man is the weakest member of the house.
Yes.
The father is by far. If somebody comes out and there's an intruder, take the little kid over the dad.
Yes.
Take the little kid, because then the dad, it's just we've everywhere.
Like for this pod, you put on that beautiful.
Yes.
What is that?
Sergio Ticini.
You got the thing. But if your mom came in and she'd like this and fix your hair
absolutely.
and button you up and put a tie on you.
Yes, very good point, my countryman. That is true. But before we really get going, Yannis, I think I would be remiss not to be able to offer our wonderful listeners the opportunity for a brand new calendar on this brand new first day of the year. That's right, the 2024 Stavvy Baby calendar is available now for purchase at stavvy.biz. Wow, you're going to love it. And hey, maybe you have a calendar. Maybe you don't like to see my nude body every morning. Well, are you a fan of the Baltimore Ravens? Because then you could buy this shirt. Are you not a fan of the Ravens? Maybe you just like the Ronnie character, one of the most nuanced, detailed characters I think we can all agree on the internet today. Hey, buy a shirt, buy a calendar. Watch Fat Rascal, the special, available right now on Netflix. It's a lazy New Year's Day. You're hungover. You're worried about what you did last night. Throw on the special. It'll be a great day. Isn't that right, Yannis?
What if the priest comes here?
There's a version of this podcast where it happens where my mom is living next to the, and maybe in 15 years, things go a certain way for me and Eldest. He's living next. We're back in Greektown. We have townhouses next to each other. My mom, and in between is my mom's house. Eldest is here. My mom's here. I'm here. We have the studio upstairs at my mom's because she can't go up the stairs anymore.
Right.
But then every once in a while, she gets like a wheelchair lift just to scold us for our language, for being too vulgar.
Right.
And she comes up with a big tray of fucking baklava for everybody.
Maybe you're living on the street that is now named you.
Yeah.
Maybe they changed one name there.
That's true. I think I'm angling for one block in Greektown, Maryland. They could be Stavros Halkias Way. You know, the 700 block of Ponca Street. I am angling for that. That's a good. You know what, Elders? Let's put that on the 24 vision board. We need to get the 700 block Stavros Halkias Way, and it'll piss because we grew up across the street from our church. Had like a big like. You know, they have the festival there every year, like kind of almost like a courtyard, but like the church is 2 blocks that way, but I guess they got a big plot of land across the street from my family's house. So all the Greek, you know how like every Greek mom is like talking about how much better and smarter their kid is. All the like old Greek ladies that didn't fuck with me because I was smarter than their Mongoloid children, because I was the one who could dream of outside of Baltimore. Like I was one of the few. All of them that were pissed at me because I was smart and didn't really give them much fuck about church stuff and everything. They'll have to go to the Greek festival on Stavros Halkias Way every year, baby. That's actually, we have to make this happen.
Yeah.
We have to make this happen.
Their grandkids and their great-grandkids, because they'll never leave Greektown.
No, they'll see it every day.
Yeah, their great-grandkids will have to keep seeing it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to start. Yeah, we got to figure this out. We got to get a statue up there, too.
I bet it'd even be, like, hilariously affordable to do that street just Stavros Halkias Way.
Yeah, we fill 3 potholes in Baltimore, and we can do whatever the fuck we want. It is awesome to be from a place where getting famous there is insanely attainable. Like, I'm not famous most places. I go to Baltimore, and it's like... I'm like mobbed on the streets because I've done a couple Ravens videos. Like I'm not even kidding, doing a total of maybe 14 Ravens videos over the course of 2 years, made it so that I could sell out a theater 5 times in Baltimore. It's crazy. So shout out to Baltimore, baby.
Do you have the Greeks coming out?
The Greeks are coming out more and more. You know how it is, man. You probably dealt with this because you had a great Greek character. But it was almost, I could assume, yeah, of course, we're talking about Mr. Panos here, of course. But I can assume that it was difficult for Greeks to, like, listen to anything but Mr. Panos.
That's
right. You know, so it's like, it was almost like I learned from you where I was like, fuck, I don't need these Greek Guidos that do exist. There's a big population of Greeks that are no better than the Italians, which we are very clear on this podcast, the lowest whites there are, without question. In the white hierarchy, lowest Italians.
Where I live now, they'll pull me and you over for paper. They'll ask for our papers. Yeah. Where I live like, let's say Connecticut.
Yeah,
it's like we walk around and we're Puerto Rican over there.
Yeah.
We just became Greek white 3 months ago.
Oh, totally.
It's still like a question: are Greeks white? Which is kind of great for these times.
It's fun.
Yeah, because you're like, no, we're not white.
Well, my contention on Fat Rascal, available now on Netflix, is I think that we are Arabs. We're the lightest skinned Arabs. So that's kind of what I think.
So you took a peek at 23andMe?
No. My brother did. Yeah, my brother.
I took a peek. Yeah.
Did you? You got a little. You're from the Levant. This is purely just what we're like.
Yeah.
Look at all the jewelry. Look at all the
Yeah.
Like my. It's like everything about us is we're where Arabs begin, basically. You know, like that's like on the continuum. You know what I mean? Where it's like Europe. We're sort of like the buffer zone between Europe and Arabs, in my opinion.
Yes.
And we behave like Arabs. It's like the food, because the Turks fucked our asses for so long. And that's the other thing. We just have to accept what happened.
And a few,
they owned us. They fucked our asses for about nice 500 years. Yeah. We got them back 1821. We told the Ottomans to suck our dicks.
Yes.
And they did. And they sucked it with a smile on their face. And we got most of the islands. We got the good shit back.
They got half to keep Cyprus. Yeah,
they got to keep Cyprus.
They took my dad's island. They kept that. Imbros.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they took
one of the few islands they got to keep.
They took a few, yeah.
Because we got a couple that are really close to Turkey.
Yeah.
You can see them.
Yeah.
But all the roads is like right there, you know, Hio, like all that stuff.
We took a few back, but they took a few too.
Damn.
Yeah.
We did a good job for, where we were at.
They raped our asses and they raped a few vaginas and gave birth to a few Greeks that have some Turk in them.
More than a few. And look, guys, we got to be honest. The best foods are kind of like thanks to Turks.
Middle Eastern food is.
We got to, and we improved it. Don't get me wrong. Greek food is better than, we get the salads. We get a little. It's fresher. You get a little more veggie stuff. Like, hummus is fine, but tzatziki, taramosalata, all that shit's better.
Oh yeah.
But we did have to put a Greek spin on what the fucking emir told us to eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We call it a Greek coffee, but it is a Turkish coffee.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line, actually. I won't give up on that one.
You keep calling it Greek.
That's my line. But hey, look, everyone has different. You're more of a extremist than me. I'm more of a moderate.
Well, I'm just part Turkish.
Yeah.
I found that out, and I wish I didn't know that.
What was the piece? So when did you
33%.
33?
Anatolian, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping it's Anatolian Greek, because, there was a lot of Greeks living there, but no, the DNA, there's Turk. And there's, in 23andMe, you can see some relatives, and there was a couple of Turkish guys that reached out because we were connected. Hey, man, I'm an actor.
Like,
yeah, and I was like,
lose my number. You call the police.
Baklava, that's theirs, really. I think we kind of borrowed that.
But I think we made a couple nice improvements on a lot of stuff. The creamier stuff, where it's just like a mix of like, the bulk. Like, I really do contend, and here's where Greek supremacy comes back. We took everything from Balkans and these fucking, Serb dogs and all that kind of shit, and everything from
miscellaneous whites,
and everything from Turks, and like, and we're like, all right, girls can have their titties out, and we're gonna add a little more dairy, a little more pork. You guys don't want to have pork? We're gonna make the most using your methods. We're gonna make a more delicious thing with fucking a gyro, which is pork. The real gyro's pork. It's not fucking a beef lamb monstrosity. That's an Americanized thing. So we figured it out.
Yeah.
We're still the best. We're a nice little melting pot.
Yeah, they can't do pork, right?
I think that's why. Yeah. That's what my obese uncle Dimitri told me is that gyro started because the Turks would throw us. He said the pork scraps, but that doesn't make sense because they can't eat any pork.
Yeah, we were probably eating it on the slide.
On the sneak.
No, I mean,
the way you're not supposed to fuck a little boy.
The
way the governor.
The 9/11 hijackers supposedly went to a strip club the night before.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people do a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, I know
a lot of Jews who eat bacon, egg, and cheese.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
I've
had straight sex. I mean, we don't all do what we're supposed to do.
What our genes tell us to do. Well, yeah, we have to.
We have to feel right, but I do it.
Yeah, we have to mute the choir of voices in our heads telling us, "Have gay sex, as fuck a man, fuck a man." A nice little side note. I think a great pilot is, or a great TV show is. What if on the night before 9/11, the hijackers had such a good time at the strip club, they start getting their dick sucked, they're like, what are we doing? And then they just we follow these guys just starting new life in Florida, and it's like, Al-Qaeda's pissed at them, they have to evade them, maybe finally the FBI is starting to get, and then they have to kind of evade Al-Qaeda, they have to evade America, the FBI, maybe then they become they get picked up by the FBI. Now they got to be double agents, and with Osama.
SNL, you watching?
And maybe they might steal it.
Listen, they open a vape store. Then they open Middle Eastern guys love to open a vape store in Florida.
Oh wow,
I love it.
2001. What's the equivalent of a vape store in 01?
Right, because
we didn't have vapes yet. We didn't have. They were I'm a
hookah lounge.
I mean,
hookah lounge, right
staring
there.
us right in the face.
Clearwater hookah lounge.
Clearwater hookah. Yeah, maybe they call it Twin Towers hookah just as a little. Yeah. No one knows what they've done for us. What a solid they did us.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should call it the Twin Towers hookah. It's like, this is weird. Why do these guys love the Twin Towers so much? Yeah. They're Arabs that live in Florida, and they're like, if you knew, my friend, you would be buying more hookah. You would be tipping more than 10% if you knew what could have happened. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Salute to those guys.
But, the Freedom Tower is nicer.
Yeah. You think it's worth it? Yannis's take, folks.
Didn't need an upgrade. It's the EV car of new buildings. Yeah, it's the future.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever. I so rarely go that far downtown. It's kind of. I don't think I've even been that close to it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's just touring.
Is there any shit around there? I mean, I guess the memorial.
They got downtown's got the Winter Gardens. There's all that. There's good restaurants. There's stuff like but there's bad juju down there.
It's I would say if you believe in energy, the site of one of the most of the terrorist attack that launched us into a state of constant surveillance. There's so much horrible energy, so many deaths, so many fucking. Yeah, you're right. I was kind of thinking about moving into the city. Maybe I'll avoid Tribeca and
I think there's a Greek church down there that
survived.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I mean, hey, you can't the true God. You
actually,
can't.
Exactly. Nice try, but Muslims.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
What was it? 9 hijackers with box cutters or whatever it was.
I believe so.
Yeah, we're able to fly those jets. Mm-hmm. Crash them into their targets.
Yep.
They weren't that good at flying.
No. Famously did good landing.
Got the Pentagon, right, but no footage of it, just like a mystery ball. Mm-hmm. Because they were able to pull it off, does it make part of you go, maybe they're right? Maybe Allah is...
I've been thinking about this actually just in general.
Justice?
Yeah.
Like, to pull that off, you have to have God on your side.
Yeah.
It's almost miraculous.
It is like... This is not a plus minus value judgment,
right?
But it is impressive.
It's impressive
that they were able to do that. Not cool.
Not cool.
I'm gonna say not cool at all.
But maybe. Maybe.
I mean, but then again, it's like, yeah. I mean, what's Christianity's last big win?
Oh man, we lost it was a 9-inning game. The Crusades, we lost.
The Crusades, yeah. That's the thing. Even the
extra innings are coming, probably. Yeah. But I think it was 9 battles. They won the majority of them.
But even that was that was fucking stupid. The Crusades were fun. They're cool. They're funny.
Yeah.
To think about all these fucking stinky Europeans like marching down and just fucking people up and holding territory for like 10 years.
Yeah.
And also there's like with the Crusades, like they kind of timed it by accident well, where there was like a weak ruler of like the empire or whatever. And yeah, they just went down, they fucking take the Holy Land, just don't really do anything, just kind of chill there for like literally 20, 25 years, which in the span of history is like, nothing.
Yeah, they didn't have America giving them weapons, so it was hard to hold.
Yeah, exactly. You see, if we're looking at history, if it's a fair fight, we see who wins.
I mean, I love when you look at it on the map and it's just like, Arab, and then like tiny little like Israel.
The kingdom of power, or whatever they called it. What did they? I got into the Crusades like this much because I got into medieval shit because it's interesting. I don't know why. I don't know if it like feels like fake. Like it's crazy to me to think about like
knights,
castles and knights and shit. And it's also fascinating to me to think about like how horrible the day-to-day life was. Because it's like I think about when I get a hangnail and I'm like on the road and I can't get to a CVS and I have like a little, it starts hurting and it's just like ballooning up and then I'm like, I can't wait to get to my home where I can have this minor medical ailment treated, and I'm in a clean hotel. Like, imagine you're on the road. Like, I think about how bad on the road as a comedian feels now. Imagine the road is like you and 100 of your boys get on horses and just have to find shelter after like 5 days, and then you sleep in like a barn, and it's fucking smells like shit. You're eating
no paved roads. You're just like bumping the whole
there's
way.
No paved road.
You got gangrene, like your feet are sweating.
How horrible!
Like, I get
your
athlete's
life
foot
is.
from modern. I have modern shoes and socks on. I mean, my feet would be mangled if I was wearing some leather slip on my feet.
And just somebody would die every like. Like now it's like somebody dies. It's tragic. They get a disease that can't be treated, but like. One of your friends would just die, just kind of, you don't even know why.
Yeah,
every like 20 days.
Yeah. It's what happens.
Yeah.
They didn't even know what the medical condition was. He's just dropped dead. Those were definitely the dark ages for the West. Yeah, we were. That was burning women. On faggots. That's what they were called. You don't have to beep it.
Nice.
You don't have to beep it.
Nice
the sticks
loophole.
were actually called faggots.
Yeah. Put the definition, the dictionary definition underneath.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It seems like I guess you can't unless you give Christianity America's wins, but I don't think you quite can do that.
Yeah. You're right. What is the last great Christian victory?
The trans bathroom law in North Carolina. They got about 6 months of that. I don't know.
Yeah. We have.
I guess you're right. There is a weird feeling of people getting back to religion that I personally don't appreciate. Is kind of like
yeah.
Did you go? Did you have to go to?
I was an altar boy.
I was an altar boy too.
Yeah, I held the candle. You ever pass out on Easter?
I never, Elders, can you get that? That's a bagel I'm going to eat right after this podcast.
That's so New York. I love
it. I had to do, yes, Easter was fucking, well, you always thought Holy Week was better to be an altar boy because Holy Week services were so bullshit.
Yeah.
They were kind of long. There's all this whatever. If you're in the altar with your boys, sneaking a little fucking bread.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one knows this, but like the bread, you get perfectly cubed things of bread, and then the corners though, they're not serving crust.
No, they're not.
We were eating huge hunks of crust of holy bread,
and those were the best.
They were good, man.
Too. They had a little crunch to it.
Crunchy, yeah. Eldest, you were a fucking altar boy too. I guess I should wait until you're near the mic. Go get to the mic, motherfucker.
Was he in the Greek?
Have I been in soft focus this whole time, you fucking asshole? No, you're good. All right.
Was he Greek Orthodox too?
Eldest, and thank you for addressing me before I give my Albanian permission to speak in the classic Greek way.
That's the way it should be.
Thank you. No, all our other guests have been very rude to me addressing Eldest personally. Eldest he was in a Russian Orthodox church because he was a little too good for the.
We were sponsored by a Greek monastery. We were selected by the lottery from Albania to come to the U.S. and then in Baltimore we were sponsored by a Russian Orthodox church.
Yeah, they were refugees.
An altar boy there.
Yeah.
By the way, luck of the draw to get an Albanian that is like just gentle and reads like literature. With your frame, like in the regular Albanian mind, you should have been a menace.
Yeah, like when
America won that lottery, not you.
When you told me he was Albanian, I came in here and he wasn't stealing everything in the house. I was like, "Are you sure?"
It's okay. I've been broken over the years. I wouldn't dream of it now.
Yeah, I get my relatives are most proud of me of how I've been able to handle my personal Albanian. Like, wow, and he's big too, and he listens. He doesn't get violent. I'm like, no, he knows better. He knows better. Yeah, dude, I would go to altar, and you did altar at the Russian Orthodox Church, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we kept trying to get Eldest over to the fucking to St. Nick's.
Yeah.
Shout out to St. Nicholas. Greek Orthodox Church. I was an altar boy there. I touched titties there for the first time.
Yeah.
I got alcohol poisoning there for the first time. That's the thing about the Greek church. It's got it all. It's community. I played youth basketball there. You know, they let you get fucked up there during the Greek festival. I don't know because you grew up in what part of Brooklyn?
Park Slope.
In Park Slope.
Yeah. So we were 3 High Rocks, and then we were the Cathedral in Manhattan when my parents wanted to,
get classy.
They
were they're too good for Brooklyn. Yeah, they were too good. Yeah. They had to go to the city for Greek church.
Father Stephanopoulos, George Stephanopoulos' father was the priest.
Get the fuck out of here, really? Yeah. Wow.
And he was the nicest guy.
That's hilarious.
I think he's still alive.
Oh, wow.
The greatest guy.
Wow.
Archbishop Yakovlevich. Did you remember Archbishop Yakovlevich?
I mean
he might have been.
He would come. He would come. All the big wigs would come down to Baltimore. I remember the big one was Bartholomew, but he was like
I remember
international.
Yeah,
right? He was our pope or whatever.
Yeah,
right. He came through
from Constantinople.
That's right. Constantinople, not the other fake city that we won't even name. There was when I was in like 2nd grade. That motherfucker came through and they had us all like in the Greek like straight solia, like in the uniform
best
praying.
Behavior,
best behavior. They're like, don't embarrass us in front of our Pope.
Yeah.
But he was in and out. That motherfucker barely. I remember being like, he's just some guy.
Yeah.
I was like honestly expecting like a minor miracle.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting him to be able to just like, I don't know, do like 1 glass of water into wine. Like I really thought he would do some miracle to prove he was like, because I still, when I was a child. So I believed in God fully at the time, and I was like, this guy must have I didn't think he had Jesus level powers, but I thought he had like he could do like a little, you know what I mean, a little force lightning, right? You know, something. Well, and then I was like, he's just some old Greek guy. What the fuck?
Well, when you're an altar boy, you see kind of behind the curtain because you're back there.
Yes.
And so I learned that it was a show. It's like, we got the early show. And and you go backstage, and like the Archbishop would be all surly, and he would spread his arms, and like all the deacons and altar boys would attend to his robes and stuff. And he'd yell at somebody, and then he'd go out and he'd be all holy. And I'm like, this is a show.
It was crazy. No, you're right.
Show, yeah.
It's a lot. I bet you it's a lot similar to what drag queens are like backstage. Because she had like every priest had his own attendant. Someone shining his jewelry. Someone like literally like looking at combing his beard and hair and shit. And he was like, we were a smaller. I mean, dude, you're in the big leagues. Dude.
Oh, dude,
you're in altar big leagues. I'm in the sticks in Baltimore. You're in Yankee Stadium, dude, like Manhattan. George Stephanopoulos' dad is the fucking priest. Wow, dude, I had no idea.
Yeah, Yakovus used to come to our church for Easter.
That was
Yankee Stadium.
Holy shit, that's big, dude.
That's the one he came to in America. He'd come. The Archbishop.
Yeah.
You know, North and South America comes.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone there, you know, had a little money. My parents would go, and it was all about like networking. They had their own law firm, so they'd network, and they dragged me along. And,
wow, this is so much different than like you could make like in my church. It was like, all right, you want to move some crab cakes? You're a wholesale crab cake distributor. Well, these are the guys you want to talk to. You want to get in here, maybe you got extra lamb from New Zealand coming in. These guys can move it. It was like carpenters were the low end, obviously, and it was like literally the leaders of our church were the most successful like carry out restaurant owners, and then like the richest guy we knew was a guy who just made bread. He supplied all the bread in Baltimore. He just had a shitty like little bread. He had a shitty bakery. His grandfather had a bakery like in the 1920s, and then he just right place, right time, and just like he like started making bread for McDonald's, and then it was like,
oh man,
dude, he got the McDonald's contract, and then it was like, wow, these people are rich. That was the most impressive man I knew. The guy who made buns for McDonald's. Like the idea that there would be lawyers. Like there were some lawyers, but it was like we had literally like one lawyer in the thing, and it was like, hey, if you need to get into a better school in Baltimore, just this lawyer. Like we had like lawyer, we had one lawyer, we had one cop. You know, like we just had one of them, and then all the rich people were purely restaurateurs.
Yeah,
there was no other industry in Greektown in Baltimore at all.
The Greek passport into America through the diner. We started at 3 High Rocks, which was in Brooklyn, and it was more like that. And then you move up in the Cathedral, and my uncle was still the choir director at 3 High Rocks. So I think there was like a little jealousy that we started going to a different church, a little more ritzy.
Yeah, keep it in the family. We'll take them on. Yeah. We'll build up. And you know what's funny is like the way Park Slope went, because at the time...
There was no Greeks in Park Slope.
Oh, there was no Greeks. You just happened to live there.
We just happened to live there.
Oh,
so
wow.
all the Greeks were in Astoria. My cousins were in Astoria. We'd come for Easter to Astoria.
Wow.
Astoria at one point was all Greek.
I know. Yeah,
like 100% Greek.
I remember when I was a fucking kid, I would come up here, and they like I've told the story before, but like our church, this was what coming to New York was coming to Astoria. Like we would not go. We would go to Manhattan to see Greek statues, and then they're like, all right, back to Astoria. Go get a fucking socofretta. Go get a Anna VC CD. Interesting. Why did your family live in Brooklyn? Do you think?
Well, my dad was from Flatbush. His father had restaurants in Flatbush. At one point, my grandfather had the biggest diner in New York called the Normandy Diner on the West Side Highway. Wow. Before that, it was Red Hook. He had a diner where the docks were really active down there. And so they were Brooklyn people.
Gotcha.
And so my mother, when she emigrated, they lived in Brooklyn. So they were Brooklyn people.
I see.
But they didn't go to Astoria. But they were like trying to be upwardly mobile. Like they went to law school. They went to Brooklyn Law School. So they were trying to fit in. Yeah.
They looked down on those greasy Greeks slinging hero. Yeah. They're like, we're better than those diner monkeys. we're high class Greeks.
We used to go to Astoria at my cousin Stratos' house, and they were mechanics, and their hands would just be like full of dirt. You couldn't like they worked where like even if you washed your hands, you couldn't.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My father and all his friends' hands are like they use that coarse soap. Yeah. That's like literally little rocks in it, and even that they have to tear their skin to get the dirt, out of it and shit like that.
Yeah. Like my grandfather didn't understand when my dad's My dad played football, and he wanted to play football in college, and my grandfather just didn't understand it. He was like, "Oh, dude, we're not going to work in the rest." He didn't, and then he didn't talk to him. He was mad at him about it. And it was
That's interesting. I mean, my parents literally didn't understand the rules of football. Like my mom would come to. I played football a couple years, and my mom would come to the games and I played defensive. I played nose tackle, but I also played soccer. So at JV football games, they're like, all right, well, you kick also and punt and like whatever. And so she would just cheer during the kickoff because she thought I was like scoring a goal. Like she thought kicking was scoring points, and everybody would just be like waiting. She'd be like, "Yeah, Stavvy!" It was like she had no concept of the rules whatsoever, but she was supportive. Whereas my father never even considered going to a football game. He went to soccer games, but then he's like, "Oh, you're playing football now? I'm not going."
Right, soccer. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So were they trying to groom you to be a lawyer? Your family? What were they thinking?
They just were. Whenever I got a C-, they were happy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because my brother went to Georgetown Law, Oxford.
Wow. Holy
Brown,
shit.
Tufts.
Wow.
And I was like the class clown and the misfit, and so if I got C-, they they were scared that I was like slow or Wow. Being a lawyer they just knew it wasn't attainable.
Couldn't even consider
they just wanted me to be like,
oh, that's nice,
alive,
though.
And
that's good to have the cover of the smart sibling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like again, to show you how different the expectations were. I was the smart one in my family, so I'm the one that my brothers had cover from because I just did like okay at standardized tests or whatever.
Yeah,
but they were like. To be the one that just no one really gives a fuck about, that's beautiful, man. You were the second?
I was the third.
You were the third?
Oh, okay.
Okay. Out of three or how many?
Out of three, yeah. Third out of three, yeah.
Yeah.
You're the smart one.
I was number one. I was the firstborn and I was the smart. Yeah, three, for sure.
Your other brothers are cool. You got an artist and you got
they're cool. Don't get me wrong. They're
a guy who does gym shit.
Yeah. So we have a great.
And you guys are close. I love that.
We have a great setup where it was like everyone kind of figured their shit out a little. Like we're I'm doing whatever, fine. But like Nick and George they're staying. They're in Baltimore. Nick, George, and Stav. Yep. Very Greeks.
Dude, you're like I'm Greek. You're Greek. Yeah. I mean, I got Nikos and Pandelis, but we're two Greek guys.
Right.
We're fucking inbred Greeks.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, we have, and so it's nice because my brothers are like. George is like he lives right by the artist. Like he sticks around. He's like doing shit. He works. He does some editing for us. He's like but he's in Greektown, so it's like he's just there day to day helping out. If like my mom needs anything, she's had like she's had hip surgery, and then Nick is just that motherfucker. He's opening his own gym. Classic. He's taking like diner mentality to a gym. The first year he had it open, he was there just constantly. But it's also like. If there's ever any big emergencies, like I can always trust my brothers to like handle it, which is fucking nice. Because you're, even though New York is relative as far as America goes, it's close. I'm in the car, I can get there. But it's just nice to feel like we have it figured out. I'm excited to go back and see them. I got a place in Baltimore because even if you have a ton of money, you can't buy a place in the city. It's insane. I wanted to buy a house, but I got a house there now, so I'll just like. I'm excited to go chill and just fucking work out. It is nice to be an adult and be like, oh, nice. My family kind of figured it out. I don't know if you guys had the ups and downs. It seems like you had some.
I had some downs.
Yeah, you had some real downs with the family. Yeah. And it feels good to just kind of like, it was definitely real up and down, and it feels like we're kind of, obviously we have shit to figure out, but. It feels like we're getting there.
That's great because when the parents get older, it's a challenge, and having brothers is just so you guys are there for each other to help each other. That's great, and you guys will always get along as long as you don't get into the business in a restaurant together.
Right.
I mean, for some reason, when Greek brothers own a restaurant, like one shoots the other one.
It is funny. It's like they're either the closest people of all time. Like you've never seen a stronger bond, or there is a blood feud.
Yes.
You see the beginnings of a blood feud that will take over for generations.
Yes.
Like that always happens in Greece where people. Like, if there's a grandfather and the two of the, half of his siblings go to America, your cousins will stab you in the back for a plot of land that they can put a beachfront hotel on. They're like falsified documents. They're like, you cannot trust your Greek relatives. Usually, we're lucky we have good, we have good Greek relatives.
My wife's half Greek, and they have a piece of land, like they're Spartan, and in a village in Sparta. And there was just a murder over, like, there was just an in-family murder in the village over the house. Like, it's just what happened in the village. They fighting over the house, and someone got murdered.
Someone got.
There's some diner in Connecticut where two brothers, one brother murdered the other one. If you think about it, when the Greeks won the Euro Cup, we needed a German coach to to
get us together
to stop infighting. Greeks love infighting because we're dramatic people. We're emotional. We take things. We have vendettas. We hold them. We don't forget.
Hold grudges.
Yeah, we hold grudges over stupid shit. Yeah.
And I'm trying to be like enlightened and let the grudges go, but I treat myself to 2 grudges.
That's
I have
nice.
2 that I'm just like, I'm never letting go for me. I'm going to be happy every time I hear something's going bad for this guy. I can't wait. I love when you're just on TikTok and one of them's a comedian, so it's like you see just their brutal content just bombing, and you're like, awesome. I should be a better person. I should let this go.
But I'm
it's
Greek.
Like,
I can't.
But I'm Greek, and it's like I've let most of it go.
Yeah.
But it's like this man from like way in my. We're talking like open mic days, not even like anything that affects my life at all. But I'm just like, no, I'm gonna treat myself to 1 grudge, and then I'll keep up. I've been better about letting shit go.
I like that. That's sort of like you funneled it all into.
It's my cheat grudge. It's my little treat. Because it's not healthy. It's not healthy to keep resentments and like from my current life, like last 10 years, let's say, last 5-10 years, I don't hold anything, but it's like, if you go far enough back, and it's like, it's almost like, I don't know.
My mother was like that. My mother was like a human rights lawyer, and she worked for the UN. But if you brought up Turks or Germans,
really,
I mean, Mr. Panos is like most of who he is her. She just couldn't let it go. She couldn't forgive.
You gotta also think about the context of these people's lives. Like your mom was a little girl when this shit was happening.
Yeah, she was there.
Like that's the thing. It's like you kind of have to give those people a pass.
Yeah.
If anyone who was there, it's like, all right,
I get it.
It's like fine.
Yeah.
But it's like, but also the next generation, it's like you kind of have to be able to read look at the facts and be like, hey, we got to move forward, all this kind of shit. But your mom can.
But we should be able to make jokes about Germans. Like whenever anyone gets salty about like a Nazi joke, you want to be like, you guys know what you did. It's like, It's like, know what you did.
The thing is, Germans...
I can't make a joke about it?
I don't think Germans get salty. Germans get like, you are right, it was the most disgraceful thing that we've done. Like, they really get like, they handled it the right way, where they're like, we're not pretending it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You won't find, like, let's just say, like, there's no statues of Hitler because it was history. You know what I mean? Like, you go to South Carolina, you still got a couple interesting statues, Like, Germany was like, are bad. You know what I mean? Which is, if you're fucking brutal, that's the way to handle that.
Sorry about that.
Jeez, we really fucked up on that one.
What can I say? I know sorry doesn't change anything. Yeah. It's like when a serial killer is being interviewed in a prison, what do you want me to say? Sorry? In the court, when they make them say sorry, like, you want to release a statement? Like, I'm sorry for raping and murdering your daughter. Is that okay? Does that make it better?
Do you feel even slightly better? Does it even change things, or does it probably make you feel worse now?
He showed no remorse. Of course he showed no remorse.
You want them to feel, I don't know, I would assume you want them to show no remorse. Especially imagine if you're like religious and you're like, this guy just confessed and prayed, and now he gets to go to heaven. He fucking killed my son. He raped my child, and then he just saw a priest, and the guy was like, he feels bad. He's good. He gets to go to heaven now.
Well, that's why I'm surprised Christianity caught on in Greece, because the whole thing is turn the other cheek. It's like, what Greek do you know?
No forgiveness.
That turns the other cheek and forgives.
No forgiveness whatsoever. But I will say, Greeks don't really give a fuck about religion. Like, it's, again,
on the holidays,
keeping up appearances. That's what it is. Big holidays, roast a nice lamb, But that's why we're even doing this. Like, I don't know, like, they don't even really give a fuck about Christmas. It's a New Year's culture, That's why we're doing Protochronia with my boy Yanni here, because Greek people love the first of the year.
Yeah,
and
you got to get that coin and go to the hospital, and that's good luck. You choke on the coin and break a tooth.
Yeah.
You have good luck.
Fuck, we need to get a Vasilopita, dude. I mean,
we need a Vasilopita.
We already got it. Fuck, I wish we just bought one for
I'll tell you what, like when I was a kid, like, so I grew up on a block. It was all Irish, some Jews, Italians. And I remember when I was a little kid, you remember those bouncy balls?
Yes,
right. So I was my friend awesome. Damien. He was an Irish kid.
What, they had the little handle.
The
too?
handle on them.
I
was on the bouncy ball, and I bounced into his parents' bureau with a mirror on it, and it broke. And the parents made me feel so bad. And I was like, "What do you mean? This is good luck. I broke something." It was just I couldn't believe they made me feel bad. If that happened at my house, we'd all be like, "Oh,
How old were you?
This must have been 6, 5, 6.
It's crazy to make a little kid feel bad.
Yeah,
too.
The Irish, it's like the Catholic kind of like everything's a tragedy.
Yeah,
like, that's what I love about Greek culture. You break stuff, it's good luck. They don't make you feel bad. And,
no.
It's
all. I mean, it's the most laid back. It's a hangout culture. I've said that many times. It's a culture. It's designed around hanging out, getting coffee for 3 hours, getting dinner for 5 hours, like sitting on the beach. It's fucked up how much work we have to do.
It's funny when you go to a Greek restaurant. It's like the other restaurants will be closed. The Greek restaurant is just open till 6 in the morning.
Open. It's one old guy.
Dude.
He's both horrible and great at his job at the same time.
I'd say one of the craziest things. I did a show for Icarians, the Icarian Brotherhood. They get together every year in different cities.
Yep.
So they hired me to do a comedy show. The Greek comedy shows are the worst. The Yaya's there. The children are there.
Brutal.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
They've asked, I remember when I was
there. It's brutal.
When I was starting, they asked me to do. They're like, do a show, and it's like I had been doing comedy for like 4 years. It's like, if you think my act dirty now, it's like I'm like, what do you want me to go up there and talk about how like my dick's small, I can't get hard, I'm too fat to wipe my ass. That was one of my big jokes at the time. Was that I'm getting so fat I'm having trouble wiping my ass. Like, you want me to do that in front of everyone I've ever met in my life, all the people that have been at every church service? It's It's such a bad idea. And it's like to really make them. I mean, you're a trooper for making them work. Even now I turn them down because I'm just like
I turn them down now.
I can't do that shit.
It's always through the church, like you said. Everything in the Greek community is through the church. So every show there's just a priest right there, and I'm like, I got kids. But I did this show, and they're one of the blue zones. So the Icarians live to like, they're centurions. They live to like 100.
Right.
And they were like, it's because we partied. Like all the guys I was hanging out with. And then what I saw, I couldn't believe what I saw. So after the show, we went to like the ballroom. It was like midnight, and it was like kind of empty, a few people, and I was like, oh, it's over. They were like, no, it hasn't started yet.
Oh my God.
And then, dude, the partying, like the level of partying these people did, and like 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds drinking, that's children, awesome. Like intergenerational, the music, then the traditional like
they come
Icarian music, and they were all dancing, and it was just. They were drinking. I got so hammered, like I was like throwing up, and like they were just like another one. And like, dude, I mean, Greeks party, man. They do. We do know how to have a good time.
It's like their whole, like when you go and see Greeks on an island, it's like the day starts at like 4 p.m. and you just have your little fucking coffee. You have, you might hit the beach for a little bit. Then you take another nap, and then you like. You leave for shit at like 10 p.m. is early.
Yeah.
You might get dinner at 10 p.m. and then it's like midnight, whatever. Elders, look up the blue zones. What are the characteristics of those? Because they sound so awesome.
There's one in California. There's one, I think, in Costa Rica. There's one in Japan.
Okinawa.
Yeah, there's one in Greece. And there's one in Italy. I think those are the 5. And
Okinawa Prefecture, Nuoro Province in Italy. The Nicoya Peninsula, Costa Rica, Icarians, and Loma Linda, California. Interesting. So click on that fucking. I want to see what the fuck it is. I'll just click on the thing.
This guy did a documentary that's on Netflix about it, where he went and researched all of them, and then they created a blue zone in America, and the people are healthier.
Wow,
it's crazy. I think it's in Minnesota or Wisconsin. Where he took a local community and started implementing a lot of the things he learned from the blue zones.
Yeah.
Community, intergenerational hanging out.
No time urgency, likability.
Yeah.
Some don't have alcohol. Culturally isolated, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Not social circle. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's like if you're not stressed out, you get a lot of sunshine, you eat like some fucking beans and plants and like grilled meats. And constant moderate physical activity. Everybody's always going for walks and shit.
A lot of them are a lot of the areas are in hills, so people are walking up a lot. So it's like double the workout.
That's brutal.
So that's
I'm out. Forget it. Take this off my screen, Elvis. I'm not going up a fucking hill. That sounds horrible. But being a little old man in a fucking on the beach on a coastal thing, that's
you.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
man.
that's you in your final form, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
just
on some Greek
chilling,
island,
just grilling,
little
chilling.
villa in Paros.
Little villa, yeah. No, that's really like I can really see that happening. Yeah. That's all I want. I think I'm gonna go take a nice long vacation in Greece this summer.
Where do you go when you go?
I went this year. We actually went. My cousin got married in Thassa, which is northern Greece, and it's nice because it doesn't have the like blue. It's not the like white. It's not this shit. It's like an actual just like,
Well, they do that for the tourists, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They keep painting.
Yeah.
It's like the fire on the cheese. They don't do that.
Yeah, right. And it was nice, man. It was interesting. It was not touristy, and even if it was touristy, it was like since it's northern Greece, it's like a lot of like Bulgarians, like just people. It's not like annoying Germans or like British people, Australians.
Yeah.
The worst.
Oh god,
the fucking worst.
They love to get naked. Yeah.
For
some reason they love the being naked.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
They love. They're all red as fuck.
Yeah,
they have horrible, like their skin sucks dick in the sun. And they're just like, "Oh, let's get fucked up," and you're just throwing up everywhere, trying to put their thumbs in everyone's ass.
Yeah,
it's brutal stuff.
You see them like in the Netherlands too, where they go to the red light district for their bachelor parties, and they drink, they throw up, they vomit. It's just. They're just really they're just savages.
Yeah, they really
they're just
are.
Barbarians.
Fuck the British.
Everything went
fuck
downhill
the Australians.
once Northern Europe got all of our knowledge. Yeah. They don't know what to do with it.
It's so fucked up. I still don't understand how England got to be an empire. I guess I don't know.
Their navy.
Yeah, the Navy.
They built up a good navy.
Figured out the Navy.
But they had some monks that translated all the ancient Greek stuff. There's a great book called How the Irish Saved Civilization.
Oh, really?
So yeah, it had some freaking the Romans got up there. That helped.
That's true.
The Romans got up there, and of course the Romans were really just us.
Yeah, they stole our whole shit.
They stole our whole shit.
They stole our whole shit.
Stole our
Fuck
gods.
Rome.
Yeah.
Fuck Rome for real.
Yeah, they took our only because we couldn't unify. The Greeks can't unify.
That is true.
We never had an empire because we were just fighting with each other.
Yeah,
we couldn't unify.
You know what's fucked up? The Roman Empire never had a tomato once. No one in the Roman Empire ever ate a tomato. They had. I
didn't even know that.
That's fucking crazy.
Did the tomato come later, huh?
Tomato came later from South America.
Wow.
No, Caesar never had a fucking tomato in his life.
Wow, that's
no
why.
Roman legionary. They were like eating like fucking I don't know, barley and shit like that.
Well, that's why they probably were able to conquer because they didn't have
they
had a great meal.
Maybe that's what it was. It's not the lead paint poisoning. It's that they finally got a fucking tomato.
Yeah, it changed everything.
Like, oh, let's fucking chill and have a nice fucking.
Give them credit though. When they got the tomato,
they figured out what to do with it.
That
they
shit.
Did.
Yeah, they worked that tomato. We just cut it up and put it in a peasant salad.
Yeah,
they were like, let's mush it, throw some garlic.
I will give them credit for their sauces.
Yeah.
That's why that's where the Italians grudgingly earn my respect. Is their sauces, what they did with the tomato? Because Greek villager food, it's very tomato sauce based, but it sucks dick. Yeah. It sucks. It's not interesting sauces.
No, we do lemon and olive oil.
We crush.
We got the best we got the best potatoes. I think Greek potatoes.
I like a nice fry.
With the oregano and the lemon and olive oil and baked. It's just
if you bake it just right,
it melts in your mouth.
Melt the inside. Oh, my dick's getting hard.
Yeah.
I love it though, dude. We barely got into any personal shit because we were just talking about Greek shit. People are gonna be like, this episode sucked. We don't know anything. Who cares about Greece?
Except for
ask him about his life.
Every 10th comment, there'll just be a Greek going, Elas,
yeah. We're courting the exact fan base we talked about not wanting. We're literally doing just fucking. We're performing Greek face right now.
Yeah. Look, I tell you, if you're an aspiring Greek comedian and you see one of us, do not target the Greek community.
It's a big mistake.
There's like only 1 million of them. They can't leave the house without their grandmothers and children. You will not be Aziz Ansari. It's not gonna happen.
No.
Appeal to the Indian
not
audience.
the path.
Yeah,
that is not the path.
There's a billion of them. Yeah.
Pretend to be Arab. In fact,
be Arab. There's a lot more of them. Yeah.
Be Arab. Convert to Islam.
Yeah.
If you grew up Greek, convert to Islam. That's your ticket.
And any Greeks that do come out, they are always disappointed. Like, hey, well, how come not more?
I know.
About the evil eye.
Yeah.
But still, how about that? Did your mother make a pasticcio? Talk about the
They'll come out to a regular show though, and it's like they have to figure it out. They have to understand how it goes.
No, they've been supportive. They're great.
I do love them, but yeah.
And the older I get, the more it's gonna. Have you? Like the older I get, the more like Greek I'm getting. How does
I feel that way
it's just sort of. Do we just become? Is it because we just give up and be like, oh, I just got to go back to my own tribe? This doesn't work.
I think there's only so much. There's a time. Here's my general theory. There's like a time for like exploration and like learning new shit and figuring new shit out and understanding like changing and growing. But then you realize like, okay, well, I'm not a immortal being. I can't continue to like gain knowledge and try different things. And at a certain point, you're like, oh, the end of my life is starting. And so it's almost like I amassed whatever, like my parents had no idea what Korean barbecue was. You know what I mean? Nobody in my bloodline has ever seen Latin American nipples. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten some knowledge that I've brought back into you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, now I'm like, fuck, I'm 30, I'm about to turn 35. And it's like, it's still young, don't get me wrong, obviously, but it's like, there's no more like when I grow up. There's like, you're a grown up.
Right.
And so it's like, you could be a weird guy that just travels the world and never puts down roots. But if you ever do want to put down roots, you got to be like, well, it's almost kind of how I feel about therapy. It's like, you're never going to fully fix yourself. You're never going to fully become a completely different person. There's a nice 15-year chunk of your life that you don't know is happening. That's the other thing. You don't know it's happening when it's happening. And then it's like from like, I feel like 20 to 35, I was kind of figuring out who I was, how I wanted to modify the base model that is what my parents gave birth to and raised. And you can change it at the margins, and we've all changed ourselves at the margins, but then it's like, all right, man, time to come back and like figure out what to do from here. That's kind of what it feels like to me.
Time for some slippers and a koboloi.
Yeah. You married a Greek woman, you know what I mean? Like,
my mother-in-law is very Greek. Yeah.
If half Greek to get the mother-in-law is big.
Oh, it's huge.
That's big. Yeah. That's the one you want.
Yeah.
A Greek dad, you could teach any type of guy to perform Greek dad duties.
Yeah. Just
hit
grunt.
the grill,
Yeah,
grunt,
hit the grill,
say something racist every once in a while. Set the watch every maybe not every Thanksgiving, but every fifth Thanksgiving something really racist that kind of ruins the whole vibe, like that's kind of what you want. Yeah. But the Greek mother-in-law, that's a lot of skills you can't teach. Although to be fair, I guess ethnic, that's kind of true of all.
It's probably true of all, but really with the cooking and the taking care of the grandkids, it's the family. It's nice.
How did you and your wife meet?
We met at a Greek comedy show, actually.
Wow.
She's the only Greek girl I ever dated.
Wow.
Is my wife.
Me, I have never, actually, that's true. I've never dated a Greek girl.
I'm like you.
And I'm open. And that's the thing. It's like, now I'm like, it would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
When I'm in Greece, I'm looking around. I'm like, am I like 5% more attracted to the hot women here than I am anywhere else? Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see. The next few years, I'm like,
I never thought I would be with a Greek girl. I mean, she's American, right? Her mom and her family's very Greek.
Right.
But she's Greek.
Yeah.
I mean, she's Greek. And
the mom, but that's also huge on the kids. If she wants to make them Greek.
Oh yeah,
you guys have the raw materials.
We got the raw materials
to create a
make
Greek kid instead of just an American. Because you're a couple generations in, she's a generation or two in. They can get real white real fast.
Yeah,
You're like, there's a lot of Greek kids from from the richer churches that are like,
No, I'm going to have both of them going to Greek school.
Love it.
Like, I'm not fluent. They're going to be fluent.
That's cool.
Yeah. We're going to do that. And it's nice.
Awesome.
There's something about it that's nice when your wife, like, you guys understand the holidays, Kalomina.
Yep.
It's just kind of, there is something nice to it.
And I would like, I've thought about
them,
that.
You could be like, get it.
She gets it. Who's she going to tell? Her mom?
And her mom will be like, that's what happens.
Will be like, well, what did you do?
Yeah, what did you do? That's what happened.
Did you disrespect him? He's the man of the house. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's very comfortable.
No, I'm interested. I mean, but I guess I also, maybe it really comes back down to, like immigrants more than anything for me. Because like I could also see ending up with somebody that like has different culture, but it's like just that strong other culture from like, there's like a bland Americanness that's like, it's nothing. There's no culture. Like white American culture, not even just white necessarily, just like mainstream American culture. Unfortunately, it's like so homogenized where it's like, what even is
Applebee's?
It's like, exactly. It's like, and maybe it's a little regional, right? Like there's definitely New York culture. There's definitely like Southern culture. There's definitely like regional culture. But I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I couldn't like,
You need a little flavor.
A little something.
Yeah.
And a little like, yes, a little mental illness that comes out in like constructive ways.
Yes.
Over cleaning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, like someone who's around and also who like, there's the immigrant thing of like caring about your family.
Yeah.
Which 3-4 generations into America, you kind of lose. Not everybody.
That's the biggest
Eldest
component.
married into a nice white American family. They're great people who have very strong bonds.
That should help with the Albanian like
to
brain
calm
defect.
him down.
Yeah,
exactly.
well, I mean, it'll make the kid maybe normal.
Yeah. It's kind of like they're cutting the Albanian with just pure white.
Yeah.
You kind of need that. You can't. You don't want to mix something that volatile. You don't want to mix genes that volatile with anything that might be reactive. You want just nice supportive white to just kind of soak up all the toxins.
You gotta cut it. You gotta cut it with some. Yeah, you can't go pure uncut Albanian. It's like you're running around the Bronx, shaking people down. Like, can't do that. No.
But we have some questions. Let's get your expertise on some questions. Eldest says this will tie into our conversation. Let's see what we got here, Eldest. Let's see if you've actually done some good producing for once.
Yo, Stav, what up, Stavvy? What up, Eldest? What up, prestigious guest?
Restart it.
Yo, Stav, what up, Stavvy? What up, Eldest? What up, prestigious guest? I do have a serious question, and I actually do need advice. It's probably been one of the most difficult things I've had to go through in my life. Long story short, I love this woman. We've been together for about 2 years. She just moved away recently, and we decided to put things on hold and think a little bit. The problem is, so here you go. Here's the good side. I love her. I could spend the rest of my life with her for sure. This girl makes me laugh. I make her laugh. I mean, truly across the board, I could spend the rest of my life with this woman. I know that we would never get divorced. Truly, I truly believe that.
We'll see. I mean,
she's beautiful. She's awesome. All that good stuff. There's one problem. I am of a certain culture. I'm an Egyptian person.
Okay.
And she is not. And I'm a second generation. Arabic is my first language. My culture is so important to me that I know in the future, if I don't marry somebody of the same culture,
this really does tie in.
My culture will fall away. It will begin to diminish, and I'll be the first one. And then, say 2 generations later, I mean, they're full of my family,
already happened,
American.
right?
All the Egyptians gone.
That is true. We really think about the pyramids, which is so long ago.
Culture's kind of already fallen away.
Gone. The language is gone. The tradition is gone. The culture is gone. All of it, because I made this one decision. So it feels like I'm choosing between what I want to do and what would make me happy versus something that's bigger than me, you know? And it's also instilled in me that I do want to marry somebody who's of my culture. I'm wondering if you feel anywhere remotely close to this. If you're a second-generation Greek guy, you speak the language, you eat the food, you cook the food, you get it. You got the holidays, the culture, the hang around, like the culture is it's everything. It's truly everything. So I do need some help on this. Also, the pussy's great, if you were wondering. It's great.
That's
pussy.
Big. That actually could tip the scales.
But I do need some help with this. Do I choose love or do I choose something greater than that? All right. Thank you,
isn't love greater than you too?
That's right. Yeah. Right. No, I mean, this is. There's a couple things. I'm gonna assume this woman's white. right? Like that's kind of
Yeah, he didn't specify.
He didn't
but I'm
specify.
kind of assuming that.
Which again means just like the
means
base.
her parents aren't happy.
Yeah.
So it may not happen anyway.
It could cancel out.
Her parents were relieved when she moved states away.
Yeah.
How far.
Well, they moved her.
Yeah. She's managing their bed and breakfast. So, I mean, look, there's a couple things. First of all, 2 years moving away and being like, let's take a break. That is the first kind. That's an unrelated thing, but that's you're kind of in dicey territory here. Like I guess he sounds very confident. He's got that Egyptian. He's got that Arabic. He's got that Arab like patriarchy confidence. Of like, I mean, what's she gonna fucking marry some black guy?
Yeah. Come on, bro. This is the good stuff, bro. Yeah, I got the shawarma, bro. Come on, bro.
But I would be a little worried about 2 years and then not go like. It's one thing if you're dating somebody casually and they move and then it's like, well, we weren't really in a relationship. Now we're going to do long distance. But he says he's been dating her for about 2 years and they decided to put things on hold. Does that mean you're not dating? Does that mean like technically you're single? That's you broke up while you figure it out. That would give me a little pause personally because that could very well be a soft breakup. The 2 years and the like, oftentimes when there's a break, one party is too much of a coward to begin the breakup, and they use it as like the foot in the door, and then it's the broken window theory of like little crack on the window, and then next thing you know, that relationship is torched completely. There's hobos sucking each other off in there, like it's brutal, right? So that's one little minor aside, but that's not really the main thing we're talking about here. Yeah, I mean, this guy sounds a little. He's sounding a little extreme to me.
I'm reading the subtext.
Please.
Here. She broke up with him.
Okay.
He's living in this reality. That they're going to be together. In a year or two from now, he's going to write back in and say, Stav, I have a problem. I murdered that girl. I don't understand why she had another family. I don't understand. We were in love. Yeah. I think she's broken up with him, and
it's very possible. And maybe it could also be a commitment thing. Like maybe she wanted a commitment and he wouldn't give it to her. Whatever. Right. They also look. There could be. This also happens where it's a little sloppy and people get back together in that after. I'm not. So just something to think about here. But yes, he said a couple things like, "Is it big? This is bigger than me. This is big." You know, you said a couple things like that, which is like
sounds a little jihadi to me.
Yeah, there is. It's a little fundamentalist. I do have to admit. Yes, it's like at the end of the day, you're a fucking human being, and it's like, you know, how much happier you're talking about this woman. Like you're certain that you won't get divorced. I love her. She's my best friend. I can spend all this time together. I've never felt even 1/4 what this man is saying about a woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't even feel that way about my wife. Yeah.
So like to me, that's a powerful thing, right? Yeah. Like that's something if you really feel this way and you don't think that maybe you're being a little naive and swept up in emotion, which also happens when you're young and in love. But if you really feel that way, that merits finding out if this is someone that you can really spend your time with, I think. And you also have to think, like, what is important to me in terms of the culture? Like, I've thought about this too. It's like, look, if I find somebody that's not Greek, I don't give a fuck, ultimately. Right. It's like, you want to find somebody you love, somebody that you think is a good match for you, somebody that you want to, like, start a family with. But I will say, if I found somebody like that, and let's say I've also thought about, like, if somebody had a different culture and it was important to them, I would want to like meet them halfway and like take some basic ass language course, you know what I mean? Take some classes, take some like, familiarize myself with the traditions, like maybe do some of those holidays. Like if you're thinking about this seriously, it merits the conversation with her of like, you don't know, dude. White women love not being white. White women love any excuse.
Their favorite thing right now.
They love sneaking out of being white. Oh. You know how much like, if she's anything like a lot of the white girls I know, you know how much it would thrill her to say, my child is not white. I don't feel safe. The next time there's a fucking police riot, to be like, I fear for my brown child's safety.
Yeah.
She would be pumped to do that, right? There's a certain style of white woman that this is fucking. You're getting them a get out of white free card.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is take a couple Arabic lessons. You know what I mean? Like, now, I don't know how traditional you are. I don't know, like, you know, I don't know if you wanted to convert fully to your, like, is your religion that important to me? I wouldn't give a fuck about Greek Orthodox.
Yeah, I mean, how Egyptian
it would be
are we
just
talking?
cultural.
Yeah.
It would be like religion. It would be it would be holidays. It would be that stuff. I wouldn't give a fuck about the church, right? So, like, you have to figure out what your, like, you know, yes, in a perfect world when you're just not thinking about anyone, it's like somebody that shares all your traditions. But you have to think about, like, what's realistic? Where are you willing to meet her halfway? Are you, you know, have a conversation of like, hey, this is really important to me. Would you be interested in like putting our kid in, you know, like, definitely I want my kid to go to Greek school if I had a kid, right? Is there some equivalent of that do you want to raise your kids a certain way, even if she doesn't want to convert? And do you have a problem? You know what I mean? Like, you have to figure out what's realistic here, and if you can kind of, because I think you can have your cake and eat it too, if things go the right way. So I wouldn't. It's not black or white, right? It's like it is a little more. There's more gradations to that.
Yeah.
I think.
I also think like how many like Greek, Albanian, whatever people do we know that like emphasize like marrying another like Greek person, but then their kids are really just like whitewashed, you know? You can like cook Greek food and part of a big Greek community, but like how many like, you know, through and through Greek people can we think of that like can't even really speak Greek or something?
Yeah,
so it's gonna like happen to your kids, like, you know, especially if they're like second or third generations. Like, even if you're with an Egyptian person, it's
that's a great point.
You're not like your old school like parents or something, and you know, he doesn't even really have like an accent or something.
Yeah,
I'm sure that shit is important to him. But
how Egyptian are we talking? Like, you guys want to be buried in sarcophaguses together? Like, I mean, I'm sure you're many generations from that.
Are you going to insist your maid be buried alive with you to keep the chambers tidy after you pass away?
Yeah, she likes Egyptian moussaka, which is eggplant. And she knows she can pronounce it. I mean, how Egyptian?
Totally.
She can say a couple words in Arabic. You know.
And that's a good point, Eldest. Like, even if you're with, unless you marry somebody from like off the boat, like unless you go to the motherland, find somebody, bring her back, no one's going to do the heavy lifting to keep your culture around for your kids. That's like, especially if you stay in America, right? You're going to have to be vigilant about it. It's going to take a lot of effort. And in some ways, knowing that your partner doesn't have the like, they can't rest on their laurels, they might even work harder than some people from your background to make sure they have that, especially if it's a white woman, that it makes her more interesting. You're really underestimating, weaponizing how much white women don't like being plain at. How many girls trying out they them are there right now?
Yeah.
How many girls are all of a sudden bi because they sucked one titty their whole life, but if they saw a pussy they'd like gag, right? You got a way she can avoid all that and be more interesting by raising your Egyptian kids. So think about it, my
Ask
friend.
her a few questions. Pop her the question. Are you comfortable being mummified?
Yes.
That's it.
Thousands of years from now, if somebody reads this incantation, are you prepared to haunt them slowly with your arms out? Those kinds of questions. Hit us with another one, Big Eld.
Good, Stavvy baby. I got a small problem. So I work an office job, like kind of a hybrid situation, and I have like this super fucking nice boss where he has this accommodation for me where we meet in the morning so I can kind of like, okay, this is the shit we're doing today. This is what I'm expecting from you. This is the thing, whatever. It's just really nice of him to do. He's super fucking busy all day. And he takes time out of his day to make sure I'm on the right track. It's nice. The problem is the meeting is set up. I have IBS, and the meeting is set up at the exact moment every day where I nearly shit myself. And I just don't know how to tell this guy. I'll be like shitting my brains out at the exact time, like 5 minutes before the meeting, and I need to like send him a text that's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be a little late," and it's so regular that I'm worried he thinks I'm just like showing up late because it's like a semi-hybrid thing. But no, it's just that I'm kind of glued to the porcelain throne.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. And I'm just wondering if there's like a code word I should use, or if there's like something I should say. To kind of tell him that, like, nature's calling, I'm kind of busy.
Thanks for any help you got. Love you.
How about fucking changing your diet, guy?
I know. Eat breakfast a half hour earlier. You know, like your boss, your high-powered boss, who's taking a personal interest in you, and presumably a field you're interested in, like rising up through the ranks. The problem is you have to shit at the same time. What's the one thing that's a little easier to move around? You shitting or his fucking completely packed schedule? Like, this is crazy that you're asking this.
Yeah.
I mean, what the? This didn't dawn on you?
Dude, I shiver to think about what the rest of this guy's life is like. If he can't figure out this dilemma.
This guy can't go to the movies.
Yeah.
He can't fucking do anything for more than 45 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
I mean, dude. We're joking, but truly, what the fuck? Eat breakfast earlier or later or whatever is causing this. Don't have coffee. I know IBS is a real thing. I've known people, but like, you can hold it together for fucking. There needs to be. You need 10 minutes of your day to not shit, and you can't pull that off using all your resources. You can't keep 10 minutes shit free. That's crazy.
I will say, once you get on a regular schedule, it is hard. Today, I skipped my morning shit at home. I had a shit like the second I like got in here.
Yeah.
But he's got to like, I think he just needs to start like, you know, playing around with his shit schedule at home on the weekends.
Absolutely.
And like, you know.
Experiment with different shits.
Yeah.
And yes, yeah. God forbid you be ever late to something, Eldis, or not punctual. You do have a very high-powered boss, that's true, whose time is very valuable. Yeah, it's not like we can't have literal meetings while you're shitting in this off. Like, we're literally can hear each other shitting in the same adjoining bathrooms. But I know it's like hard, but it's like, yeah, that's difficult. But it's like, look, it's also difficult to get your boss's attention, presumably, at a place like this. So, I'm kind of like, I don't think you're actually going to cut it in this job, because if you're too stupid to even consider that as a solution, maybe this guy he's picking proteges poorly. If you're too dumb to problem solve this yourself, that's fucking crazy. But anyway, good luck. Yeah. Get some more fiber in your diet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
Oh, this
is. Hey, what's good, Stavvy? This is Ian. I'm from Seattle.
Okay.
So I'm in a situation. I'm like just got out of prison like 7-8 months ago.
Ooh.
I'm in the process of getting my daughter back.
All right, good for you, brother.
She's been there for like 4 years, so she's grown really attached to these people. You know, so I'm trying to get her back. So when I call her, she's crying and says she doesn't want to live with me because she doesn't know me that well and everything.
Pull a gun on
it
the
makes me
people
feel like a bad guy, but I'm trying to do everything I can to make it feel like the situation easier. So I don't know if I should just like let her stay there, you know, or get her back. So it's difficult because it's like weighing on me. I don't know which way to go, you know, because I want her back. I want her in my life. It also feels like I'm taking away from her home.
She's safe where she is.
I don't know. I just started watching your podcast. It's, you know, I like it. It's pretty dope. But let me know. Thank you, Stavvy. Bye.
Okay, yeah, that's tough. Yannis has a take. Go ahead, Yannis.
Let her stay where she is. She's safer.
So, yeah, where is she is kind of what I'm also wondering. Like, what are we talking about here? With somebody else? Like, in an orphanage? Like, what is it? Like, Is she with her mom or her mom's parents? I'm going to guess her mom's maybe not.
In prison.
Yeah. Maybe her mom's not, whatever. Like, so it depends. I mean, it really depends here, right? Where it's like.
It also depends what he did, right?
Yeah.
To go to prison, like.
Yeah.
If he did some tax fraud.
Right.
Maybe make her understand that I was just trying to give you a better life.
Yeah.
But if you tried to kill a guy or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Maybe you go, hey, baby, I can understand why you don't want to come home.
Yeah, totally. But he's like, she's been there 4 years. That's not, you know, he probably didn't.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. It's not like, but it is good because the fact that you are even thinking about this is actually shows some like self-awareness and empathy for a situation where it's like, and it would be very natural for you to be like, fuck that's my kid, I want my kid. So the fact that you're even considering like, is this like, should she stay there, like whatever. And I think you also have to be honest with yourself, right? We don't really know the answer to this, because the answer to me, I think, is if you are, you know, really ready to provide a stable situation for your daughter where, you know, whatever's in your past is behind you and you're really working on your shit and you trust yourself to not fuck up again. And I'm not even saying going to prison, but just like, you know, we're all irresponsible people here. Like, I know I'm not, you know, if I had a kid, and believe me, I was eligible to have a kid a couple times and we dodged a couple bullets. And if I had a kid, I can't, just my lifestyle would not have been conducive to having a kid. Like, I know I'm not, and if somebody was like, do you want me to raise the kid or do you want it to live with you? I would have been like, let it live with you. I'm fucking, I don't live anywhere. I'm gone every weekend. This is the only chance, you know, the Illuminati don't give you a chance in show business more than once. I have to take advantage of this. So it's like, I'm not even being judgmental about your situation, but I'm saying, like, be honest about, you know, what you're able to provide for her right now. To me, not knowing the particulars of the situation, I would say you're probably better off kind of looking at this long term, right? I don't know how old your daughter is exactly. You said she's been there for 4 years. I don't know if she's like 5, 6, whatever, if she's literally 4 since she's been, you know, she's probably a little older than that if you had some kind of relationship before that. But just off what I'm hearing right now, I think you're better off kind of earning back that relationship with her, because you did.
He's into it.
You know what I mean? Like, you did. We all make mistakes, but one of the you know, probably worse than going to prison for you is like losing your daughter's trust. Like, that probably feels way worse than just fucking being in jail or whatever. So I think the answer here is like, yeah, dude, ease into it, earn back what you lost, you know, because you made a mistake, whatever the fuck. Get her to the point where it's like, she's not, you know, she's not crying. It doesn't make you feel like a bad guy. You have a real relationship with her. She knows you're somebody she can trust again, and like maybe move into like visitation and visits and like weekends and then a week here and there. And like, I think it makes a lot more sense to you also want to feel secure so that you can really provide for her. And then it's like, figure out what makes sense. I think it's more of a transition thing than a like all or nothing thing here for her. And because it's probably not healthy for her to be kind of going back and forth. And let's say, God forbid, something happened and you're just like, you have to, you know, whatever, just like, even if it's just like you have to work a ton, right? Because I'm sure like this country doesn't treat felons very well, right? It's not like you're going to get a job with a lot of PTO, right? Like right out of the gate, like whatever it is, you want to feel fucking secure that you can provide something good for her. And I think that's my hunch. Just kind of ease into it, get a real relationship with her, be somebody that matters in her life, somebody that can help provide for her, that's like there for her, go to her fucking recitals, her games, all this shit, earn that back to the point where you're somebody she wants to be around and you're somebody that can support her to the point where you're not even having, if you're thinking, is she better off where she is? She might be. You know what I mean? Like, if that's even something you're thinking about. So, like, make it undeniable that it's not, and then ease into it when you feel comfortable, when she feels comfortable, and I think it's probably going to be a lot healthier for her. But
that is damn good advice.
I just don't know the like,
Earnestly,
particulars. You know, like that's
yeah. He sounds like you said, he sounds like a good guy. He wants her back.
Totally.
Thinking long term.
You got to think long term because it's not about the next year. Yeah. I'm sure it would feel nice for you to like snap your fingers and your daughter like just is stoked to see you right now. But you got to think about her at 20. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You're used to doing time. Just do some time.
Yeah.
Put some time in. Yeah.
Yeah, because you want her dating nice guys like Yannis's father, not Yannis.
That's
you know what I mean?
You
like,
don't want me.
Girls like this end up hanging out with guys like me if her dad isn't chill. You don't want her hanging around the comedy show at 2 a.m. Some fat guy, 10 years older than her is like, yeah, I guess you can come back to the hotel, whatever. Never gonna talk to her again. You know what I mean? You want a better life for her. That's all I'm saying.
This gets me in the feels though, because I got a daughter, so I feel this guy. I actually think your advice was like Dr. Feelgood.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, just ease into it. She doesn't really know you because she's obviously really young, right?
Totally.
So that's what he says. She doesn't really know him. So
yeah.
Little by little, just, tell her, hey, you could stay where you, I'm like, I don't need,
I just want to come see you.
Have a convo with her, get slow, I'm your dad, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get there, buddy.
You'll get there.
But it's good that you're even thinking about it and you're not being like a fucking dickhead and like, I need my fucking daughter, I don't give a fuck. So you're on the right path. Hopefully he called in pretty recently, eldest. That's not like a call from 4 months ago, and we see on the news like a guy's broken into an orphanage, abducted his daughter. There's a manhunt on for right now.
That actually was pretty recent. That was a week ago.
Okay, great. So hold on
Chances
another
are.
couple weeks, pal. Yeah, you know, people like that don't do anything drastic during the holidays when they're feeling lonely. Come on, buddy, make it like 10 days.
He was waiting last episode. It didn't air. He's like, fuck it. I was waiting for Stavvy to tell me what to do. He's going in. Give me the kid.
Give me the kid. Nobody gets hurt. Go ahead, Eld. What else we got?
Stavvy, baby. Fucking congrats on the special. Watched it 3 times
Thank you,
already.
brother.
Fucking, you killed, bro. Big ups. I called twice already, but I fucked it up both times. So let's get the story straight right now. Here's what happened. We have a group of friends, mixed gender. We have both females and males in this friend group, and we're all pretty tight, close-knit, I'd say. But the problem is I went ahead and fucked pretty much like the ugliest girl in the group. And what I really fucked up is I let her...
I'm assuming you're the ugliest guy in the group.
We're a real tight-knit group. Anyway, I fucked this fucking slam pig that we let hang out. Anyway, go ahead. We're all really good friends. We all really like each other. But this wildebeest sucked my cock. And I'm trying to fuck. So I'm gonna guess where this goes, and I'm trying to fuck the hotter looking horse in this group, who I respect. Again, let me make that clear. Anyway, all right. Well, if you fucking within your friend group, I mean,
I just think this is one of those cases where the dude has no self-awareness about how he looks.
it's very possible.
He's like,
Yeah,
I fucked this pig, but like,
yeah. Let's see what else we can glean, because I'd love to. I just wanted to highlight that because my guess is there's a lot more to make fun of this guy about.
Group. And what I really fucked up is I let her on a little too much. Like, we fucked, yeah, whatever. I mean, if it was a one-night thing, that's whatever. But we spent 3 hours cuddling in bed the next day. And
That was you. You did
talking about our dreams and aspirations.
Yeah,
and
you did that.
Now, you know, she caught feelings, and
Pause this again.
I don't want to, like...
This is, dude, I don't know what happened. I took out a fishing rod, I put a worm on it, I put it in the water, and now this fucking fish is on my rod. And what do I got to do? Like, you acted exactly how somebody who likes somebody acts. You're the dickhead. Again.
I think he's ashamed that he likes this girl, and his friends may not think that she's
It's
like hot.
that happens a lot with young guys. It's like because that's another that's another fat phobic issue in this country. Plenty of guys like big girls, but they're afraid, or even girls who are cute but aren't traditionally attractive. Young guys oftentimes like are worried about what their stupid boys are gonna say. So that's one possibility. I'll stop interrupting him. Let's just finish it. Sorry.
Lead her on, and I don't want to be a huge asshole to her because then it'll reflect on like the whole friend group. I might lose some friends over this. So my question is, how do you make a woman subtly hate you without making the whole friend group hate you? That's the big question, because I don't want everyone to hate me. I don't want to just fucking blow her up and then I'm out of the friend group, you know? I just want to be like, hey, this one person hates me, but like that's okay because we're all still friends. So how do I subtly make one woman hate me
3 hours. You like
without ruining the friendship of the whole group? I love you, bro. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, I mean, this is textbook exactly how these friend groups get ruined. I mean, this is just pure early 20s. Like,
he works on television.
Yeah, exactly. So much of Friends would not be possible.
No.
Didn't like Joey fuck Rachel for a part of it?
Yeah, and Chandler was doing drugs.
And no, I think you're thinking of Matthew Perry.
He was strung out. Yeah, that's the real story. One of them likes pills.
So look, dude, again, I think Yannis, I think you're completely spot on here, where it's like he's a little in denial about his own feelings potentially, and now he's trying to flip this into a larger thing of like, well, I don't want to ruin the whole group. Like, You have to be. What do you feel? That's first and foremost.
And what do you look like? Yeah, I want to see this guy. Send a picture for another episode.
He should send us pictures of everyone involved.
I want to see what this guy looks
like.
That's
true. We need to start doing that in select cases.
Yeah.
That's what I love. We started experimenting with live calls, and some people have started sending us like pictures. It's fun to be able to get like more context here.
Yeah.
But I will say this is But again, this is a classic way of how these like early 20s mixed group, like these always end because somebody fucks somebody, and either one person catch feelings and one person doesn't, or they end in love triangles, or like almost never. The only time it ever works out is if two people start fucking and then they end up like actually being good together, and then that actually strengthens the group. When there's like a strong couple in the group, then they kind of act as the group mom and dad, and they can kind of like adjudicate issues and all this kind of shit. You're not in that situation whatsoever. You need to understand. So you don't, if you're being honest with us and you really don't feel anything for this girl, then you just need to, just say that. You need to be a good guy, and that's the closest thing. That's the only thing that could potentially save the group. You'll probably have to take a breather for a little bit. You'll probably have to chill a little bit, just chill with the guys a little bit, or like whoever you're closer to. Maybe you might have to skip out on a couple group hangs and then slowly, or even just tell her like, hey, look, I really like you as a person. I got caught up, we had some chemistry, but I think like it's not right. I don't really want anything serious, but I value you as a friend. Is there anything I can do to like maintain that relationship? If you need me to go away for a little bit, I can do that. But she might just be like, fuck you, like, you led me on, you were saying sweet, you wrote me poems, you know what I mean? And
the
like
cuddle got me a cuddle,
the 3-hour cuddle.
Jesus.
The 3-hour cuddle next
Somebody's
day.
having a good time, not just her.
You were having a good time. Exactly.
There's one ripcord emergency solution here.
Okay.
It's not scrupulous.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
No, we have to give them all their options.
Yeah, here's an option. You say, I realized I'm gay. So then you got to pretend to be gay for a little while.
That's true. You kiss
until
one
the
guy.
feelings wear off.
Right.
And then you come back out and say, I've rethought it.
I'm bi.
Yeah, I'm bi. And then you ease back into straight.
Yep. Then you ease back into straight.
By that time, she's forgotten it. And, you give her that talk, and she, of course, is understanding. And
right.
I'm gay. I'm a gay guy.
I'm gay as hell.
I had a great time with you, but that was the cuddling was
and
about.
And that's what the cuddling was about, and the emotional availability.
The best time during that for me was the talking. And that's why.
Yeah. That's true. Those are your two options.
And because you cuddled for 3 hours, I suspect that it might be true anyway.
It's certainly not off the board. It's certainly within the realm of possibilities.
It's possible.
So yeah, dude, either clear, open, honest communication, or an even larger lie. A larger, completely like life-defining lie.
Sometimes if you're already in, you got to go all the way.
How much do you like watching football with these people? How much do you like hitting the bars with these 6 people? All right.
Temporary's good solution.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck, little bud.
Stavvy, baby, how we doing? Elvis, what's up? Guest, what's going on? Question today. I am a dude, 32 years old. Been with my current partner for a little over 4 years now, and she's the same age as me. Mm-hmm. And her best friend just gave birth a couple months back, and just found out a few weeks ago her older sister is also pregnant. And she is getting that baby fever. We were just away with her family and told her dad about the pregnancy, and then her and I had a huge fight that night over it. And I've always been staunchly against having kids. My parents did a really good job of fucking me up, and I don't really want to pass any of that trauma along or anything. At the same time, I had both an aunt and an uncle who were wonderful to me and were essentially my second parents, and they don't have kids. And I was really always looked at that as the role I would play in my family and my friends' kids' lives. I'm not sure what exactly to do. We've talked about it. She's not 100% convinced she wants kids. but is definitely seems to be leading that way more and more. What with us getting up in age and all of her friends and family making that choice, my mind has not wavered in the slightest. I've never even had a small desire to have kids. Maybe save this question for a guest who does have kids so they can give their input as well. Thanks a lot. Love the show.
Well, I mean, I would say hold the line, my brother. This is tough. This is the toughest time. Well, but then again, once they're born and they're cute as fuck.
You could introduce her to this podcast and just have her listen to that, and then she'll be like, if I want to have kids, you're not the guy.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's true. I mean, that's really what it fundamentally comes down to, is like, you clearly don't want kids. Clearly. And you know what? Good for you for being open and honest about it. And hopefully you were this open and honest at the beginning of the relationship, as soon as it came up. Because if you've been honest about this, and that person knew that this is how you felt, that it's like a red line for you, no kids. And it's like he's even like, he's not even one of these weirdos that are like, I hate kids. Those people freak me out. He's a guy who's got a reasonable look at it. He's like, look, for my own reasons, I don't want kids. I like being in kids' lives. I want to be a very supportive uncle. And that's why I'm also of the like 50-50 in my personally, where it's like I could go either way, because people he'll have kids some point. My brothers at least one of my brothers is going to have kids. My friends, my cousins, whatever. I love the idea of being the uncle. And if I were to be with a woman who's like, if I were the woman equivalent of this guy, I'd be great with that. I'd be like, cool. Takes a lot. My life's gonna be easier. I'll tell you that much. Everyone who has kids, like, it seems like a bit of a headache, right?
It's hard,
yeah. But then again, if I were to be with somebody who was like, I 100% want to have kids, it's like, you could probably talk me into it, right? But he is the like, I'm having fucking kids, and your girl seems to be of the like waffling person. But it also sounds like she might have even at some point been like, I definitely don't want kids.
Yeah.
Because I've definitely had friends who are like, I don't want kids. And then they get a little up there and this exact same thing happens. And like, I've even softened my own stance seeing, like you meet babies as you age, but seeing a baby you care about, seeing like your best friend's baby or your fucking nephew or something, you're like, oh, I get it. You want to care for this thing. So if you don't want, you have to suss out whether she's serious about this, and if she is, you guys got to fucking break up, and the sooner the better. If you're in your 30s, like
she's on a clock and you're not.
Yeah.
So it's like, don't do that to her.
You're trying to run out the clock, and the more you fucking run it out, the older she gets, the harder it gets. Yeah. It sucks for women. That part, it's brutal. Did you know you wanted to have kids the whole time?
No. I never even thought that far.
Wow.
No.
Interesting. But it wasn't, you weren't anti, you just didn't think about it.
I wasn't anti, I just didn't think about it, yeah. And, having kids is great.
Yeah.
It's like nature takes over. It's not like so I think, I don't know what happened to this kid, right? So he said his parents messed him up. I don't know if they were in a cult or they molested him.
Yeah.
Maybe his parents fucked him a bunch.
Right. That'll do it to you.
That'll do it.
You have 3 ways with your parents. You're probably not going to want to be a parent yourself.
So in that case, I can understand, But other than that, I mean, anyone who has kids, I think, if your parents didn't fuck you a bunch, I think it's the greatest. You know what I compare it to? It's like starting comedy. Remember how brutal that was to climb up? But you didn't really kind of notice because you loved it so much.
And you were just in the zone and your whole life was about it. Yeah. Right.
Like you wouldn't do it again if you thought about it. Like, oh God, I got to do that again.
Yeah.
So it's like that with being a parent. Like it's hard, it's tough, but you love the kids so much that you barely notice how hard it is.
Right. And then the challenges become different and they're less time consuming, even though and hopefully it pays off and you don't have a fucking piece of shit kid.
Yeah.
How you doing? You think you're doing good? No piece of shit?
I think I'm doing good.
How many kids?
So.
2, right?
Kids,
Yeah.
It's the love you feel for your kids is a new thing. It changes you. It softens you. It especially I think when you have daughters, it's like it's just all the asshole parts of you start rethinking and
you're like, whoa, a woman I respect.
Yeah.
You're like, this is strange. I care about. I think of her. She's smart. And I want her to do well, and I don't want to take advantage of her.
Yeah.
This is a new feeling for me.
Totally new. Yeah. Even with my wife, it's still like, fuck you, get out of here, fuck it. But anything for my daughter.
So yeah, dude, good luck with this. I mean, but this is just like I think you have to deal with this head on, and you have to be realistic about it, and she has to be realistic about it too. Because to your credit, you've been staunchly anti this, and if it comes up again, you might have to really be like, hey, if you want kids, we can't beat. I'm not the guy for you, and that sucks because it sounds like you have a great relationship. You've been together for a while, and that's really brutal for you. I could see him feeling like crestfallen because he's like, hey, I told you I don't want kids. I was building my life with you, and then all of a sudden you just like turned because you saw.
That's a good point, actually.
You know, like you, I feel bad for you too if she's flipped on you. Sure. Now, if you weren't ever this open about it and you kind of were like, oh yeah, we'll see, you're kind of a dickhead too. But either way, this is something you guys have because you know what your stance is. You definitely don't want kids. You need to figure this out sooner rather than later, and that's really hard. And they could be fucking very sad. You're also 32. You probably thought you were done. And now you got to get back out there. That's brutal, man.
Yeah,
that's really tough.
But you know, for a guy 32, it's
can be nice.
Young. Yeah,
can be nice.
Young. You can,
unless you gave up. Unless you're in a husband mode, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I'm fucking fat as shit. I'm bald. I haven't gotten pussy in 8 years from a stranger. How am I gonna do this?
Then just have the kid, dude.
Yeah. Right. Do a cost benefit analysis. Good luck, little buddy. Oh, we're getting some good questions here. Elvis, very good job of producing, my friend.
Stavvy, what up, dog? What up, Elvis? Just started listening to the podcast a couple weeks ago. Really enjoying it, guys. I just got a question. Wanted to kind of see how you guys feel about it. So, man, I fucking...
Pause it for 1 second.
Basically...
Definitely a black guy that grew up around white guys. Just want to point that out.
I'll keep my ear out for more hints of that.
Yeah.
Like work on fucking water treatment equipment all day, water softeners, water purification systems, ice makers, shit like that. And you know, man, I really find that at the end of the day, I'm not a big drinker, but I do like fucking sitting down just with the joint at the end of the day, man. Got a daughter, been married for fucking forever. At this point, it feels like I'm married for 5 years with the same girl since high school, and I'm super happy in a relationship, everything like that. Sometimes I feel like a piece of shit, and I don't know why, man. I mean, enjoy smoking it. I don't really think that there's anything wrong with it.
Jesus
My wife does it. It's not like I'm getting a bunch of pressure at home or anything, but I don't know, man. I live in Indiana, so it's not legal here. I have to go to Michigan to get it. And that's not really it either. I find myself lately kind of just like feeling like a piece of shit for smoking, but also at the same time, like I don't want to stop. I enjoy it. It helps me relax at the end of the night.
Wait a second.
I don't know, man. I wanted to know if you ever kind of like looked at it like this. And again, I enjoy the podcast. Keep it up, guys.
Yeah. I'm starting to think black guy not only didn't grow up around white people, but like adopted by a white family.
Yeah, probably.
Like adopted by like a white evangelical family. You have like such serious guilt issues here. Like this, your problem is I enjoy something and I feel bad about it. And it's like, no, dude, just enjoy it. His wife smokes weed. Like, no one in your family is pressuring you. This feels like there is some nebulous, like, you know, somebody punishing you, but you feel like you're not good enough. Like, this does feel like religious guilt stuff going on here. It's not legal. Oh, okay. Now the U.S. criminal justice system tells us what's right and what's wrong. Come on, dude. Fuck that. Who gives a fuck about weed?
It's not as bad as alcohol.
It's literally better than alcohol. You're better off having a joint, you know, smoking half a joint every night than you are fucking polishing off a six-pack every fucking night.
That's not your problem, dude. Your problem is you live in Indiana. That's the problem.
Yeah, totally.
That's what you want to change.
Can you move? Can you move somewhere it's legal? But I'm more... So let's just very quickly say there's no problem here. You should feel good about this. You work hard. You've been in a relationship with the same woman. You're very happy. Like, you're a good dad. You have a good job. Like, you more than deserve to smoke a little weed at the end of the day. And what I'm more curious about is, like, I think you need to examine why you feel this way. Like, what is it that's making you feel guilty? Do you have a problem? Do you, like, are you never able to feel pleasure? Like, are you uptight in certain ways? Like, there's something there that I think is a key to just kind of understanding yourself better and knowing things that you're probably robbing yourself of happiness and a lot. This is probably not the only facet of his life where he's kind of like over intellectualizing his own happiness or like not letting himself enjoy something. Because I know that feeling too. It's like I'm trying to work on that, and I'm trying to be more present and enjoy the little things and stuff like that. It's okay to work hard as fuck and just be like, I cannot wait to go home, fucking smoke a joint and pass out. Like that's after a hard day's work, that's fucking nice, dude. And so it's like, why don't you let yourself feel good shit? Are you happy in every other aspect of your life? Are you repressed in some other aspects of your life? Like there's a little self-reflection I think you need to do here. Because every reason you have given no reason other than it's not technically legal, which is bullshit. Come on, man. Let's be honest.
Yeah. I will say, and as someone who like, smokes weed a pretty good amount, like, it's crazy when you're an adult, you look back on your life like after high school, after college, whatever, and it's like, have I gone a week or more without like getting fucked up, without getting really drunk, or without like getting high or something?
Right.
And when you kind of look at it in the big picture like that, there is something to like, okay, well, is it like normal to just like go that long or something, like without any time like getting fucked up? Which, I mean, the point is really what you were saying, stuff, which is like, if you do have something that's like, nagging at you about like your weed use, like, yeah, it is worth like looking at and maybe
examine it. Yeah.
Maybe even taking a step away for like a month or whatever you want to do, just to like see how you feel and see if there's like a difference or something. It's like worth like trying something like that. Or
look,
like
yes, I agree, but I think the key thing here is like it's not affecting his life. It's not affecting his family. It's not affecting his job. It's not affecting anything. He enjoys it, right? Like, I definitely currently feel like weed is partially ruining my life, and I need to stop. I've been fucked up every day for I don't know how long, right? Like, I've smoked a little weed pretty much every day since shit got very stressful around here, and I just used it as a pure coping mechanism. I'm just using it as drugs. It is not good. It has fucked my life up a little bit, but I just need to relax. I want to turn my brain off so I get fucked up every night, right? I need to stop that. I know that, but that's a different situation that this guy is up against, right? And there's definitely been times in my life where I feel like weed is really working for me in that way. It's like, oh, just chill out, smoke a joint, and like watch a basketball game, go to bed, whatever. So, as long as it actually isn't fucking your life up, then yeah, dude. As long as this is the only thing you're worried about, there's no reason. But if you ever want to take a little break, that's healthy too. Like, you just need to know it's whatever makes you feel good here. And whatever makes you feel good and doesn't fuck your life up. The second it starts fucking your life up, then some of that guilt is warranted and maybe you should take a step back. But for now, you're good, bro. You ever have you ever really get in there with anything? Any substance really get its hooks in you?
Weed's no good for me because I need to think less. So weed somehow reacts on me. Yeah.
You're not smoking. You got to break on through to smoke more.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You're thinking a lot. You got to break the sound barrier where you're like, there's a lot of like noise, and then you're like, and then it's like you don't even have a brain, and you're like, oh, I love when he's killing the guy that killed his wife. I hope he catches the guy who killed his wife and gets revenge. And then you get to watch the worst action movie you've ever seen, and it feels like you're watching, Goodfellas for the first time. That's what you got to do, brother. How we doing on time, Al? Just one more? What do you think?
We're at 140.
Oh, it's flying by. What a fucking episode. Let's do one more. Yanni, you have anything you want to plug to the people before we do our ultimate question here?
Come see me on the road if you like to. YannisPappasComedy.com for tickets. I'm in a bunch of cities, and my podcast, the Yannis Pappas Hour. Check it out.
I love it. Check it out. Go see Yannis on the road. We're off the road, so go see. This is a perfect time where we don't have any. We're not plugging. Although I guess we should plug the fucking makeup dates. We had to make. I got COVID. Fucking embarrassingly, I got COVID like 4 weeks ago, so we have to make up, what is it, Detroit, Grand Rapids, and Dallas. We'll probably put ads at the beginning of the thing too. We'll plug your shit at the beginning too. But yeah,
thank you.
Go see Yannis. Listen to the pod. Follow
you can
him,
watch my special on YouTube. Mom Love. Yeah,
watch that. That's good shit, baby. All right, Eldest. Let's see. Will Eldest blow? This is one of my favorite parts of the episode where it's like I tell it's all right, man. End with a good one. And he blows it, I would say, 60% of the time. So let's see what we got.
Hey, Stav. I called earlier.
That's true.
But I made it way too long, so I'm going to try to make this more concise. So long story short, I am 38, and I've been seeing a girl who I was under the assumption was in my age group for about 6 months. Her birthday's coming up. And
hey, man, work on that when you have to talk to the judge. That wasn't very... it didn't work. You kind of breeze past it under the assumption. I would talk to a lawyer about the exact language.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Didn't buy it for 1 second. Yeah, for that amount of time? You didn't know? You didn't know when she picked up a cartoon, coloring book? Did it tip you off when she couldn't order alcohol?
All right, let's see what we got here, Eld.
In my age group for about 6 months. Her birthday's coming up, and I recently just found out that she is 24, not in her 30s like I thought she was, which not necessarily a huge deal breaker, but the main problem is that I was very clear that I thought she was in my age group, and she never really thought to correct me.
What do you mean by that?
So I don't know if that's a deal breaker or if I should keep seeing her.
Did she know, or did he just?
Like this girl, but that
I was very clear.
Like
I referenced Gen X. I was talking to her about Pavement and watching the Terminator in theaters. Like, what do you mean you were very clear? Like, that's the thing. Were you clear? Did you ever say you're 35, right? Also, like, damn, what the fuck does this bitch look like? If you think she's like, do you think she was the hottest 5-year-old ever?
Yeah, you have great skin.
Yeah. Also, 6 months.
Yeah.
And you never figured out your girlfriend's age. That's crazy. Like, 1 month max where you don't figure it out. You're just not a very observant person or like a good boyfriend.
You sound fucking stupid.
You're a fucking dumbass, dude. You're a fucking idiot, dude. All right. Anyway, let's see what he's asking us here.
Or if I should keep seeing her. Just because I do like this girl, but that does seem like a weird thing to lie about for almost 6 months about, or I guess not necessarily lie, but, you know.
I'm not
lie of omission when I mentioned several times that this conversation has come up before. So I would love your opinion on this. Thanks, man.
I'm not clear on the facts here.
Yeah, I'm not clear on what do you mean she just let you believe she was in her 30s? I don't get... anyway, whatever. Let's say that's the case. This feels more like this guy's trying to completely absolve himself of the guilt of being in the age gap relationship.
Or maybe he's really dating a 16-year-old and he's just trying to get a feeler for how to word it.
Yeah.
Let's say she was 24.
Yeah. Because it's so Yeah, this is
Stavvy, how would you phrase
this
it?
This is dipping his toes in the water. Yeah, I'm a little confused, to be completely honest here, where I'm just like, because it's weird to be like, hey, the problem isn't that she's 14 years younger than me. The problem is she lied to me. Right. Like, that's what's weird. It's like, he doesn't really seem to care about, which, again, it's like, the thing about, it's just like, it's not illegal, or it just could be a little weird. 38 and 24 is kind of, that's a bit, once we're...
You know what, though? Like, imagine you're 38, which we basically are for all intents and purposes. It's like...
Yeah, I guess you're right.
It's like...
Would I date a 24-year-old? Yeah, I probably would.
You would try to fuck or even date like a 24-year-old.
For sure.
You wouldn't...
25... academically, my cutoff would probably be 25, but then you hit it off with a 24, you're like, well, I mean, it's basically 25.
The point is, you wouldn't give a fuck.
I wouldn't give a fuck, of course.
But it's like, there's something weird about, like, that being withheld from you, that you're like, how did this never get through?
They're both clearly adults. There's not that issue.
Right.
It's the lying part, but I'm not clear on who lied.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And how did she lie? And, how did you not know for 6 months? Like, unless she was trying to mislead you, and then why would she mislead you? Because it's like, here's the thing. When you date younger women, they love making fun of you for being old.
Yeah.
One of their favorite moves. I've experienced it many times, right?
Man, how did you not pick up on the fact she didn't know who Pearl Jam was?
Yeah.
Like, there should have been clues along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Unless she's like the talented Mrs. Ripley and just like did.
Yeah, is she a liar? Is she a liar? Yeah. Is she like a... but why would she? I just don't understand.
Are there any other warning signs about her that make you pause and like, is this like the beginning of like, oh wait, she also did this like weird
That's
thing
actually
the
a great
other
point.
day? Like,
yeah,
that's actually a great
you
point.
know, I feel like, think about like why she would want to withhold this for this long or something, or like not be clear, or think about why like you're a dumbass and like.
To piggyback off that, what you're basically saying, and that's a good point, is like, because of this, did you think of other stuff and go, oh, she also...
Is it a Kaiser Soze type situation where it's like it all starts to come together?
Yeah.
Where it's like, wait,
her name's not that, and she does have a dick, and I didn't notice.
She doesn't have an apartment or a home. Really.
Yeah. I've never been to her place. Like,
she's a guy.
Yeah, she's married.
She's married.
Like that, that's true. That's definitely... I've had friends who like, that kind of shit has happened to, where like one innocuous lie is like, you pull at the thread, and then it's like he has a second family.
Yeah. That's always a wild moment too, and you're like, "Oh wait,
yeah." He's been
true?
living with his fiance, and it's like, oh, he doesn't travel for work. He just can never take me to his house, because he's married. So yeah, I mean, I just need a little. The problem with this one is we need a lot of context. Like, where'd you meet? Yeah, I'm guessing an app, but then apps actually list the age, so probably not. Did you meet with like friends, like, and nobody told? Like, I need a little bit. He's like, well, we met. I was actually her tutor 8 years ago. I was actually her tutor 10 years ago, and we've kept in touch. I don't know, dude. I need a little more context here, unfortunately. Now, Eldest didn't blow it because we did get a nice couple jokes off.
Yeah.
So that's you did a good job, Eldest. But this is a guy that I'd love to talk to actually on a call-in episode.
Subscribe to the Patreon and join the live call-in episode on the Stavvy's World Discord channel.
Subscribe to the Patreon. You're a 38-year-old man.
We'll get to the bottom.
You can afford it. You can afford $5 a month, and we'll get to the bottom of this. But
keep me posted on this one. I'm curious.
This
is a cliffhanger.
This is a cliffhanger. Sorry to end the app on a cliffhanger, folks. That will, let's be honest, probably never be resolved.
Yeah.
But thank you. A beautiful new year to everyone. May this be a year of triumph for everyone in the Stavvy's World family. Thank you for coming, my friend.
Thank you,
Great
brother.
episode.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.